Unleashed seminar on because these are people who have taken steps in their life to try to do something special, to try to become who they really, really want to be, to risk it all and for their vision and to find out, what this life entails for them. So for you to be here means you're like-minded like us, and it's really special that we put together a cast of people who have a story to tell, and hopefully you're able to understand that, you don't have to come from money to make a difference and make a change and live the life of your dreams. We put together a speaker here named Sherry Jo Watkins. Say hello, Sherry.
Hello. I'm super glad you're here as well. I don't know if I'm on. Am I on?
Scotty, you on? Yeah, you're on.
I'm on? Sweet. All right.
So, Sherry,
yes.
When we started talking about putting this thing together, what was the reason? Give me a reason why we started doing this.
The reality of it is that so many people are not fulfilling their lives and doing the things that they want to do. But, what we found is that people really get stuck in a rut, and they just don't know how to take that next step. So the more we talked about being able to help people, and the more that we said, okay, what can we do to make an impact? How can we make a bigger difference? We thought, well, you know what? The best way is to reach out to as many people as possible, and along came Motivation Unleashed.
Yeah, so we met at an author seminar. She's an author of a book called Dare to Live Spectacular, and I wrote a book called Dream Starter, the startup business guide for the die-hard entrepreneur. And so when we started to realize that people they're not guided by anybody to say, okay, well, here's where you go next. We can motivate you, but what do you do next? And that was sort of the key ingredient to this. We're not just going to give you this feel-good mentality, but we're going to give you options also.
Right.
And I think that's a big piece that's missing at some of these seminars.
Absolutely, because people, what they can do, you go into a seminar and they say, well, you've got to do this, you've got to think positive, you've got to be able to make a change, you've got to do it. And then you go home. And there's never any further instruction on what do we do? How do we make that next step? And how do we actually keep a sustainable life change?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So by a raise of hands here, can you just tell me, who is 100% I am happy with the life I'm living. I'm just thrilled. This is the life I've always wanted. Can you give me because chances are if you're here, it's not the answer. And that's the thing is, so hopefully, and this is what we're trying to do here, we're trying to affect your lives and make you see that there's something else out there, and hopefully you take something from this.
Each of our speakers today have a different story to tell. And each individual has done something very special within their own lives. And we're hoping that today you can take away some of the goodness and the tidbits and tips that they can share with you, because it's not always just one path. There's lots of different paths that people can go down. But being able to hear other people's story and hear how they made it happen for themselves is really going to be a big impact for you today.
The first man I want to introduce is he's actually Pittsburgh's #1 motivational speaker. He's been in it up and down doing motivational speaking events for the past 2 years. He has an amazing story. He's had some really bad times that he took and made it a positive. His name is Rob Oliver, and if you could just sit down, sit back, start to just soak in a little thing or two from us. Rob Oliver has a story that will change your life. And I'd like to introduce him now. Can you please give a warm welcome for Rob Oliver? Woo-hoo. He's also an author, and he has something to tell you guys.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here, and I guess what I want to start with is just to say thank you. Thank you to you guys for being here. You've made a choice on a Saturday morning to get up early. I'm assuming that everyone has grabbed some form of a cup of coffee. You've got to get up. Saturdays are usually your day, and you have made a choice today to be here. And so I want to thank you for making that choice. And really what I want to start off with is, let's talk about, as we go through life, every one of us is faced with choices. We make choices. We make a choice to do this. We make a choice to do that. As a matter of fact, it really comes down to the fact that every single time we are faced with an option, we have two options. The first of which is we could do this, or we could not do this, or we can do this, or we can do that. So it comes down. What I really want to talk about for a little while is choices, and it's either this or that, and it's pretty simple. You're talking about making the life that you want, making the life that you desire, and I guess the question becomes, and this is kind of, is there any way that I can see the slides without? Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you don't. All right. Next slide. Next slide. You talked about the fact that nobody here is really happy where they are. And the question becomes, what is your destination? Where do you want to go? Are you living life every day, just taking what comes, or do you have a destination in mind of where you want to be? Just think for a second. Everybody just close your eyes, and I'm going to give you 20 seconds. Think about, where is it that you want to be? What is your destination in life? All right, you've got something in mind. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to challenge you. Is your destination in life truly what you want, or I'm going to give you an alternative destination, and that alternative destination is happiness. Okay? This Mike and I are going to have a fight all morning, it looks like. There are all kinds of stories that go around on Facebook, and I'm not sure how many of them are true and how many of them are not true, but one that has been exceptionally challenging to me is a story allegedly attributed to John Lennon when he was a child, and maybe some of you have seen this. When he was a child, his mother had talked to him about life and talked to him about what is the purpose of life and what is it that you can really hope for in life. And she taught him that what you really want out of life is happiness. It is to be happy. That is the ultimate goal of life. Well, allegedly, he went on to school, and one day in school, they were having a class project, and as they were looking at the class project, the question was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he wrote down, happy. And the teacher looked at all the assignments, and there were architects, and there were astronauts, and then there was happy. And so the teacher took him aside after class to say, I appreciate what you wrote, but I don't think that you understood this assignment. And his response allegedly was, actually, I don't think that you understand life. Because that's really what we're looking for in life, is contentment, is happiness. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about, you can advance the slide. I want to talk to you a little bit about my story, a little bit about where I came from, a little bit about what I've gone through, and help you understand a little bit about what I've come to understand and a little bit about the tools that I have used to get to where I am today. This picture up here is kind of an embarrassing picture, but this is me pre-spinal cord injury. I was 21 years old and was one of those athletic kind of adrenaline junkie guys. I like to ride bikes, play volleyball, just about anything that I could do that would get my adrenaline pumping. And I was on vacation with a bunch of my friends in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We were body surfing. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with body surfing, it's surfing without a surfboard. You've seen the kids with like the little boogie boards, right? It's that, except there's not even a boogie board. It's just your body in the water enjoying what's going on. So what we would do is you swim out to where the waves are kind of breaking, and then as a wave is cresting, you swim with it, and your goal is to time the wave breaking and your arrival all at the same time. And when that happens,